Hey everyone, welcome to HM Code Studio. Today I want to start this video with a simple question. Do you want to create an app right now? If yes, then this is the right place for you. By the way, it should be yes, because apps are ruling the world right now and it will continue for the next few decades.
Now, before we get started, please take a moment to visit my site, hmcodecourses.unox.com. I've included a link in the description box below. You can see new courses on my site by clicking on Start Course and by registering on my site. Okay, so now let's get into work. Feel free to use the timestamps below to jump into various sections of this tutorial. Okay, so first now we'll be opening a browser. I have opened Google, and now we'll go to the search bar and search for Figma. Now this is a great website for designing and creating gorgeous apps. Now we'll get started by logging in to this website. I'll continue with Google and choose an account. And then you'll land in this dashboard. Now we can create a new file by going to Design, File. And now this is how the interface will look like. So first we can start creating an app by choosing a frame. And I'll choose iPhone 13 Pro Max. You'll get this frame. And now we'll change the background by going to the Fill section. And now we'll click on the drop down menu and we'll click on Linear. After this, we'll choose a color. I'll be choosing purple for the first color. For the second one, I'll be choosing blue color. You can change this just like that. We'll also increase the transparency. We'll keep the linear just like this. And so now we have created the back. Next, we'll rename this frame by right-clicking on it and by going to rename. So I'll rename this as splash screen. Alright, now we'll add some text to this frame. I'll draw the text over here. And I'll type HM Code Courses. You can type anything you want. And now I'll go to the text section and I'll change the font to Comic New. And then I will also change the size. I'll click on 22 and then change the regular to bold. And we'll align it to the center, just like this. Next, let's create a rectangle by going on here and by clicking on rectangle, and I'll draw the rectangle over here. After that, we'll change the radius by going over here and I'll type 50, and next we'll remove this fill section and click on stroke, and over here we'll change the color to white, and then we'll change the value to 5. Okay, after that we will create a circle by going to the same area and we'll place the circle inside the rounded rectangle, and we'll change the color by going to the fill section to white. We'll increase the width if needed, and now we'll place an arrow icon to this frame. So I'll click on File Manager and I'll just drag this and drop it over here. Now I have the arrow icon, so I have resized it, and now I'll place it over here and I'll right click on this and I'll flip horizontally, and now that's it. Next, we'll create a text box and I'll put it, and I'll also place it inside this rounded rectangle. And now I'll type swipe to axis. I'll press Ctrl A. If you want, you can change the font. I'll change it to Poppins. And over here, I'll change it to regular. Now that's quite large, so I'll change it. So I'll change it to 34. And that's great. Next, let's create a new frame. Now we don't need to waste our time creating a new frame. Instead, we can just duplicate this frame. So I'll copy this and I'll paste it. After that, we'll just delete all the items. And also we'll change the background to white, complete white. To do that, we'll click on the drop down menu and we'll go to solid, and that's it. We have changed it to white. Alright, now let's rename this frame as home. And now we will add a logo. So I'll go to the file explorer and I'll take my logo. I'll just drop it over here. And now I'll just resize it and place it in the center. Okay, now next we'll create a text box. And we'll just type choose a category. And I'll just increase the width of this text box. And now I'll draw a few rectangles. And I'll just change the radius to, 30 is fine. I'll change it to pure white. And next, in order to create another rectangle, you don't need to go to the same area and do it again. We'll just press Alt, Shift, and drag. And that's it. You'll have the same rectangle on the other side. Okay, next we'll create a text box again. I'll place it over here. And now I'll type coding. And by the way, you have to change this to bold, this text box to bold. Next, we'll create another text box by just duplicating this text. Okay, and we'll rename this to blogging. Okay, after this, we'll create a rectangle again, and we'll place it over here. And we'll change this color to blue. If you want a gradient color, you can click on the drop down menu and click on linear, and you can choose two colors. You can drag these two colors and place it for your liking. You'll also drag this linear just like that. If you want, you can drag this down so that's visible for you. And we'll close this. We'll change the radius to 30, and after that we'll create a text box and we'll type the coding symbol of HTML. Besides, we'll change this to comic new, and then we'll resize it 64 maybe, and we'll change this to bold. So next we will duplicate this text box and type HTML. We'll press Ctrl A and we'll resize the font 24, and we'll change the font also to Poppins. We'll change this to semi-bold maybe, and change the color to white. Next, we can create some rating type of thing for this course. So to do that, we will click over here and click on star. and change the radius to 5 and change the color to yellow. We will place 5 stars for this by doing the same thing, Alt, Shift and drag. Right now we have completed the rating style also. I'll just make a little adjustments and that sounds good. Let's now create another course by just selecting all of this and duplicating it. To duplicate it, we have to press Ctrl C and Ctrl V. So I've duplicated it. Now I'll change the background by going to Selection Colors and by changing this to Solid. And I'll make it complete white. Now I'll change this text to black. And I'll also change it to JavaScript. I'll add a new image instead of this. So I'll go to my File Explorer and drag this one and I'll place it over here just like that, and I'll increase the radius to 30 and that's perfect. Now I'll change the star rating to orange so that it's visible. I'll delete all of these stars and so now I'll copy paste this star 5 times. So for the last star, I'll deselect this option and I'll click on stroke, change black to orange, and I'll increase the thickness to 2, and that's alright. After that, I'll create a page for HTML. If you want, you can create a page for the other option also. So I'll just duplicate this page and I'll rename this as HTML. So I'll remove everything. So now I'll just duplicate this text box and put it right over here. And also I'll copy this text and paste it over here. We'll change the color to black. And I'll create another text box. And over here, I'll name this as description. And I'll increase the width of this. I'll create another text box for the actual text. And you can type anything you want. And change this font to regular. And align it to the left. You can also decrease the text box size. That's fine. Next, we'll create another rectangle as a button. So I will change the radius to 30. And I'll increase the width of this and let the color be gray itself. I'll place a text inside this and I'll type back. And now I'll duplicate all of this and I'll create another button. And I'll change this fill to blue or purple if you wish. I'll change this text to view and I'll change the color to white. And also I'll change the font to bold or semi-bold. And that's now fine. If you want, you can create a page for view also. You can also create more options over here, but I'm not creating it right now. Now we have finished our mockup. Now we'll be seeing how we can connect these pages. Now to connect all the pages, we have to do prototyping. We have an option called prototype. So to do prototyping, we first need to duplicate this splash screen, delete this text box, and I'll bring this arrow icon and also the circle and place it over here. So now what we are going to do is prototyping. So to do that, we'll first click on this circle over here, this circle, go to prototype, and over here I'll click on interaction details and on drag. By clicking on the drop down menu, you can click on drag. And now here I'll navigate to splash screen number 1, that's this one, and I'll do the same thing for the arrow icon. Okay, so now we have done that. Next, over here in this page, I will go to prototype and I'll click on interactions. Over here I will select after delay and let it be like that. And now I'll click on navigate to, and I'll navigate it to home, and I'll smart animate it. Now here we'll create a rectangle, which I forgot to tell it about you, and I'll change the radius to 30. I'll also change this to bold. This one I'll change this to gray, as it shows that the option is not selected, and I'll change it to semi-bold, just like that. So for this page I'll create a prototype. To do that, we'll select this HTML course, and so I have a HTML page next to it. I will select all of this. I'll just move the rectangle that I've created. I'll select all of this and prototype, go to interactions, then on tap, navigate to HTML, and I'll smart animate it, and I'll ease in this, and that's really great. Now over here we'll create another prototype for back. Go to interactions and on tap, and then navigate to home, and I'll ease out. Okay, we'll place a rectangle back over here. If you want, you can create another page for this, as I said before, for view course, and then you can also prototype in the same way. Now we have completed designing our app. If you want, you can create more options and courses just like this. So now let's click on the preview option to see how it looks. It's loading now. And you can see that you have a mobile preview. So I'll just drag this as we did. Now you can see that it has come, the home page. We'll click on this HTML course, and you'll see that you have the HTML page like this. Now if you want, you can click on back, and you'll reach the home page back. So for this video, I've just showed how you can design and prototype your app. In the next upcoming videos, I will show how you can see this on your smartphone. And if you want to present this somewhere else, you can just go to share prototype, and you can copy the link and paste it anywhere you want to. You can also send this to anyone so that you can make it more collaborative. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button, and also please consider subscribing to my channel. Be sure to check my website hmcodecourses.unox.com. I've included the link in the description box below and on the comment section below.